This video will discuss the UK spouse and partner visa process in 2025 from start to finish. We'll break down the process into 9 simple steps. As an Immigration Advice Authority regulated UK immigration law firm that has helped more than 4,600 partners obtain their UK partner visas, we're very well placed to discuss this. The process for applying for a UK spouse visa is the same as applying for a civil partner or unmarried partner visa. So, if you're applying as a civil or unmarried partner, this video will also be relevant to you as well. It is also largely the same for those applying for a UK fiancé visa, although we will create a separate video specifically discussing that. This video will cover the process for both out-of-country and in-country applications, and it will also be relevant for those applying for a spouse visa extension. Since the process, requirements and fees differ, let's first clarify whether your application will be an out-of-country or in-country application. To submit an application from inside the UK, the applicant, who's the non-UK partner requiring the visa, must hold a visa or leave granted for longer than 6 months, and it cannot be a visitor visa. Whether the sponsor, the UK partner, assists in completing the application form and submitting the supporting documents does not affect this. Exceptions to this rule include those in the UK on a fiancé or proposed civil partnership visa, who can submit their application from inside the UK. Typically, the applicant will already hold one of the following types of visa or leave listed here. So, if the applicant has no UK valid visa or leave, the application must be made from outside the UK. Also, if the applicant is in the UK as a visitor, they'll be expected to leave the UK and then submit the application from outside the UK. The first step, if you're submitting the application yourself, is to familiarise yourself with the requirements and gather the necessary documents. This is because the documents you submit must demonstrate that the requirements are met as of the date that you submit the application. The spouse visa and document-specific requirements are quite extensive, so this process typically takes partners longer than they initially anticipate. Furthermore, due to how the immigration rules are worded, some partners may be forced to wait many months until they can satisfy the requirements. This, of course, depends on you and your partner's specific circumstances. A common mistake that often leads to refusals is completing the application form and only submitting the documents listed in the online application forms document checklist. Not only does this document checklist often omit required documents, but it also does not list documents that, whilst not strictly mandatory, can be helpful to submit. For a detailed explanation of the UK spouse visa requirements, you can watch our in-depth spouse visa requirements YouTube video or visit our website www.migrate.org.uk, where you'll find over 40 free detailed articles and guides on UK spouse and partner visas. The second step is to begin completing the online application form. To find the correct spouse visa application form, you can Google Apply Partner Visa Gov UK. Then click on the gov.uk link, which says Family Visas Apply, Extend or Switch. On the top of the page, ensure that you are on the Apply as a Partner or Spouse page. Scroll down to the subheading How to Apply. If you're making an out-of-country application, click the link Apply Online from Outside the UK here. If you're making an in-country application, click the link Apply Online in the UK here. These application forms cater for those applying as a married, civil, unmarried partner and those applying for a UK fiancé visa. Whilst this has changed over time, incomplete applications typically remain open for 6 months from the date they were started. So you do not need to complete the application form all at once. Rather, you can complete it over time. For out-of-country applications, the online application form will ask for the date the applicant plans to arrive in the UK. If your answer indicates a date before the application is granted, the visa's start date will typically be on or around the date of the decision. If your answer indicates a date after the application is granted, the visa's start date will typically be the date you list here. However, it is also important to note that the Home Office can typically only post-date the visa's start date by up to 3 months after the application is decided. So, for example, the application is submitted on the 1st of January 2025. The intended date of travel here is listed for 1st of July 2025. If the application is decided on the 1st of March 2025, 2 months after submitting the application, the start date of the visa will normally be the 1st of June 2025, which is 3 months after the date the application is decided. Depending on the size of your screen, you may notice that the online application form states, after your application has been approved, you will have 30 days to arrange travel to the UK. This is not currently accurate. As we discuss later, applicants are now given 90 days to enter the UK after their application is approved. Step 3 is to pay the Immigration Health Surcharge, otherwise known as the IHS. This is a mandatory fee that must be paid. We elaborate further on the IHS in our spouse visa fees YouTube video. Step 4 is to submit the application. The application is submitted by paying the Home Office fees on the online application form. When should the application be submitted? Firstly, in nearly all instances, the application should only be submitted once the requirements are met. Therefore, if possible, you should ensure that you've gathered the required immigration rules compliant documentation before submitting the application by paying the Home Office fees on the online application form. This is particularly the case with financial documentation, and this is because the relevant date that the requirements must be met is the date the Home Office fee is paid, not the date the applicant attends the visa centre. This is known as the date of application in the immigration rules. For out-of-country applications, ensuring the requirements are met when the application is submitted is a main consideration. You also do not want to submit the application too early, as you can generally ask for the 90-day entry clearance visa to be post-dated by an additional 3 months after the date the application is decided. So being aware of the current processing times is helpful here, and is something we discuss on our website. For in-country applications, the application will need to be submitted before the applicant's current visa's or leave's expiry date. The effect of applying will be to extend the applicant's current visa or leave until a decision has been made on the partner visa application that was submitted. This is known as Section 3C leave. For applicants in the UK on a partner visa that is not a fiancé or proposed civil partnership visa, the application should normally be submitted within the 28-day period before the expiry of the partner visa. For applicants in the UK on a fiancé or proposed civil partnership visa, the in-country application as a married or civil partner can be submitted any time after marrying or entering into a civil partnership, but before the 6 months visa expires. For applicants in the UK on a non-partner visa, it's generally fine to submit the application at any time before the visa or leave's expiry date, preferably at a time that you don't foresee the applicant having to leave the UK within 8 weeks for reasons we'll discuss later. We elaborate more on these in our When to Submit a UK Spouse Visa Application YouTube video. What if you want to opt for the priority or super priority service? If you're making an in-country application, please note that currently, the super priority service is only purchasable on the online application form payment page. It cannot be purchased on the TLS Contact website, which we will discuss shortly. Therefore, if you're making an in-country application and want the super priority service, but only the standard service is showing, if the visa expiry date permits, you may decide to check at a later date before you pay the Home Office fee. Super priority visa appointments are released daily, even for weekends for some visa centres. If you're making an out-of-country application, the priority service will not be available for purchase here. Rather, you will only see the standard Home Office fee listed. If you want to opt for the priority service, when available, this can normally be purchased on the VFS website, which we will discuss shortly. The priority service fee can normally be purchased up to the time of the appointment, and it normally can be paid for at the visa centre appointment. We discuss the priority and super priority service further in our UK spouse visa fees YouTube video. Step 5. Book the visa centre appointment. Once the Home Office application fee has been paid, you'll be redirected to a commercial partner's website. For in-country applications, the commercial partner that works with the Home Office is TLS Contact. For out-of-country applications, it is VFS. Also, when it comes to out-of-country applications, it may be worth noting here that you can only book the visa centre in the same country the application was submitted from. The visa centre appointment, otherwise known as the biometric appointment, can only be booked on the commercial partner's website after you've submitted the application by paying the Home Office fee. Appointments are normally bookable up to 28 days in advance. For out-of-country applications, appointments are normally available within a few days, and for in-country applications, it can take slightly longer. Let's now discuss Step 6, submit the supporting documents. Whilst you do not need to submit the supporting documents straight after submitting the online application form by paying the Home Office application fee on the online application website, documents can normally only be submitted after the visa centre appointment has been booked. The procedures for submitting documents depend on whether the application is made from inside or from outside the UK. In all cases, we now suggest self-uploading the supporting documents rather than using other methods. The self-uploading takes place on the same commercial partner's website we discussed earlier, where the visa centre appointment is booked. The documents cannot be uploaded on the online application form we mentioned earlier, so you can only self-upload them after submitting the application. The self-upload portal is not perfect. We know this because we use it daily for our clients. However, partners handling their application without an immigration lawyer usually face the fewest problems when they choose to self-upload the documents. Another advantage of self-uploading documents is that it avoids the extra fees charged by the other submission methods. Other document submitting procedures include 1. Submitting copies of the supporting documents in person at the visa centre, 2. A method available only in limited locations and circumstances by posting copies of the supporting documents to an address provided, and 3. For out-of-country applications, documents can be delivered in person to a scanning hub or at one of the addresses provided. Instructions for each of the document submitting methods will be given to you as you move throughout the application process. You'll be pleased to know that, aside from the applicant's passport, original documents are not needed for any submission method. Instead, copies of these documents, either in paper or digital format, are enough. This means that there's no need to worry about important documents getting lost in the mail, if you choose to send them by post. Regardless of what procedure you use to submit the supporting documents, you should stick to that procedure. We do not recommend using 2 different procedures, as this can result in some of the documents not being received. Step 7. Attend the visa centre appointment. Applicants must book and attend an appointment at a local visa centre chosen during the online application process. Sponsors will not be required to attend the visa centre appointments for both out-of-country and in-country applications, and in many cases they will not be allowed to attend the appointment with the applicant. Visa centre appointments are usually straightforward. They mainly involve an administrative process where the applicant provides their biometrics, which essentially means providing their fingerprints and photograph. Also, if the optional document scanning service is chosen at an additional cost, the staff will assist in scanning the supporting document copies at the visa centre. If you choose to self-upload the supporting documents, you will not need to again submit these supporting documents at the visa centre. Unlike the partner visa process in some other countries, applicants and sponsors are not interviewed at the visa centre. In fact, only a small percentage of partners are interviewed at all, and in some cases, the Home Office may conduct interviews over the phone. These interviews are usually requested only when the Home Office caseworker needs further clarification or wants to discuss the applicant's and sponsor's relationship. The visa centre staff have no role in deciding the outcome of the application. Their job is to solely assist with the administrative process. So, in-country applicants will always keep possession of their passports. With this being said, for in-country applications, please be aware that leaving the UK whilst the application is being processed will result in the application being withdrawn. Out-of-country applicants will normally leave their passports at the visa centre, unless they've chosen the Keep My Passport service, or are attending a visa centre in another country due to the lack of available centres in their country of residence, or are attending certain visa centres in the US where the standard process is to post the passport after the appointment to a specified address. Step 8. Wait for the decision. After attending the visa centre appointment, the process turns into a rather grueling waiting game. Normally, non-priority out-of-country applications are processed within 12 weeks, whilst priority out-of-country applications are processed within 30 working days. Non-priority in-country applications, on the other hand, are normally processed within 8 weeks, whilst super-priority in-country applications are processed within 1 working day. Processing times for both out-of-country and in-country applications frequently change. To keep applicants informed, we update the processing time articles on our website, migrate.org.uk, at the start of each month. There, we also address other frequently asked questions, such as when you can get refunds, the priority service, when and how you can follow up on an application, and what this email here really means, which states, among other things, please ensure that your supporting documents are submitted within 5 working days of this email. Step 9. The decision. Out-of-country applications applying as a married, civil, or unmarried partner typically receive a decision letter by email. Those applying as a fiancé usually only receive an email notifying them that a decision has been made. If the email does not include a decision letter, the outcome of the application will usually be revealed when the applicant's passport is returned. The email will usually advise waiting for the visa centre to contact you regarding the return of the passport. A second email, typically from the commercial partner about the passport, is usually sent after. However, it is not uncommon for this email to arrive before the one sent from the Home Office. For out-of-country applications, if applicants choose the Keep My Passport service, they will only request for the passport to be returned if the application is successful. Once the passport is returned, it should contain a 90-day entry clearance vignette, which is like a sticker placed inside the passport. Applicants are expected to enter the UK within this 90-day period using the vignette. For in-country applications, once a decision has been made, applicants will normally receive an email with an attached decision letter. This decision letter will discuss the conditions of the visa as well as the next steps. The emails are sometimes received into the junk or spam folder, especially with Hotmail, Live and Outlook email accounts, so don't be afraid to check there every so often. If you'd like more information about the UK spouse and partner visa requirements, or if you'd like help with your application, you can visit our website www.migrate.org.uk.